back again. Nuke is up next. We'll see if Heroic can bounce back on a map they've historically been very, very good on. They did suffer a 9-16 loss there on Train. And over on the B stream, do you want to give the update? Is this your thing?
No, you can do it.
I can do it?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Over on the B stream, it was G2 taking out Virtus Pro 16-13 on Nuke. So VP continues the slide.
What's the second
They're getting better. They're getting closer to wins, though. That's the closest they've got in a long time.
Really grasping for straws here.
Hold on, Henry. I'm trying to throw Jason under a bus here. What's the second map they're playing, Jason?
Of what? G2 versus Pro?
Yeah. Oh, buy yourself some time.
Okay, so I feel like this is a trick question. I feel like it's going to be Nuke again.
No, it's Inferno. You can't double up maps in Pro League.
Did they change that? You could last season.
Last season.
Yep, you could last season. That's correct.
Yeah, they have fixed it.
All right.
How's that bus feel?
It feels pretty good, actually.
Yeah, but
big fan of buses.
Yeah, just for those playing at home, Jason just bought a house, and you also have a house. So esports has got two houses on the table.
Yep. Personal information on the stream there.
Well, Henry's is in London on the corner of.
What's the street name?
It's in North Acton. If you want to come check it out.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go. Any reason that got brought up?
Well, Jason literally
my
just
brother
signed
is since I'm over here in Germany for 3 months, my brother is my power of attorney, so he's sending me Snapchat updates of the signing away of all my money.
Nice.
My brother and my mother have been spending all my money on things since I've been gone, so that's the esports dream for all of you out there.
There we go.
There
got a nice little bit coming up, haven't you? Maybe moving on.
Well, here's the thing. We can get off the let's get off the homeownership. Thanks for that, Chad. You've got a video, so I mean, you take it away.
Yeah, so we've actually used this one before. It's the way Heroic control...
Slacking off, huh? Recycling old material.
No, it's just a very good point.
Okay.
They take the lower control very fast, and then the way that they deal with Megaton, where they're about to throw the nades, that's what I like to call it, there's a Molotov and a smoke, and then they basically swarm on the decon door and the vents to make sure that the CTs can't rotate it at all. It's very effective the way they do it. So I think the battle here for EnVy is going to be making sure that Heroic are unable to get this lower section easily. They need to be able to stop them from getting full control. And I think the best way to do that is by sending your rotator more aggressively. The battle for me in this game is first of all going to be stopping that for EnVyUs, but it is going to be between Scream and Nico, because those are the two guys on the CT side who do like to rotate under and take control of that area. Both teams like to do the wall of smokes outside, so that's where I think most of the action is going to be happening.
Well, I mean, we have to say, if we're going to call Train a map that EnVy likes to play and is pretty good on, this has got to be the same thing for Heroic.
Absolutely. This is how they really did so well at Katowice in the group stage. I think they played 3 times there and took down the likes of North, I believe, and Virtus Pro, I want to say as well.
Virtus Pro 16-14.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
So this was like one of their great maps, and they obviously last week as well played Virtus Pro and beat them 16-1 on it as well. So they are very good on this map. It's certainly going to be more comfortable, I think. And EnVyUs are known to be an amazing Nuke team, so I think we can split the series quite nicely here. Yugi, this one of the maps he goes absolutely ham on as well. Obviously, it's AWP-centric map on the CT side, especially kind of holding outside a very prolific area of the map, going towards heaven, ramp, and all that sort of stuff. So watch out for him. And I really do think they can actually convincingly win this one as well.
Heroic.
Yeah.
Oh, convincingly.
Yep.
It's not bad.
That's a prediction for you.
Breaking the mold. He's a rebel.
Don't care.
It's not updating very quickly. I was going to bring up the Nuke stats here, but the website that I like to use is.
Are you whispering?
Slow.
Is that what's happening right now?
I don't know what's going on here. I can't really hear myself very well.
Well, good God, the people I have to work with in this job.
It's falling apart. Wait, hold up.
No, I can't hold up. We are going to send it over to
twice.
Uber and Pansy for the match.
I'm sad I missed that gem from Sponge just before we wrapped up there. There's a lot to say, Lauren, though, in the lead up to this game.
Mitch, if Chad wants to make that point, he can come over to the desk here. I'll give him a headset. Chad? Got anything, Dad? No, very quiet. Clearly not that important.
He's good. We even dropped the music for that one here. So, I mean, your mate, Duppers, we'll call him.
Oh, yeah.
Tends to believe the Heroic are the best Danish team on this map.
Yeah. Yeah, he backs him.
I don't want to give away too much about his real identity. We'll just call him Duppers for now.
Yeah, Duppers.
But he's a man in the know. He's a man in the scene. He's a man about town in CS.
Yeah, no, he definitely rates these guys on this map specifically, and then take what you want from an internal perspective, right? They might play each other a lot. They might have a good idea of how they approach it. But this is a great map for Heroic. It's one where you saw the kind of the impact of the in-game leading that works really well with them. They have a very predetermined approach to it. They have a lot of set pieces that work very well. They have a very solid game on this. But it looks like, EnVyUs are very switched on individually. So we could actually see a very close game. This is probably the second most played map for EnVyUs. There's certainly not a bad map for them. It's still around in the map pool. It's still there for them. They still do play it a little bit.
It's the most played in the Pro League, isn't it, this season?
Yes, and obviously the first most played and most successful, really, I guess, for EnVyUs was Train. So we've seen probably the best of both maps from both teams. It's what I like to see here. Yugi, did you buy armor? Yugi?
This is like Scream all over again.
he's bought nothing. So Yuki's actually bought nothing. He still has 800, so I'm kind of curious as to why. Now, all right, we'll look into that later if there's maybe a reason or if it's just an error. But XMS can be forced off ramp, backs away. Not too surprising about that. The Glock train is coming to station. He's going to smoke it out. Force Heroic to play through one approach if they want this, but so far they've just got ramp control. Now it's about how do they put themselves forward after this. Valde is doing other things. Snappy's split off from the pack, so Heroic's starting to look for options, and they found a few, and it's looking towards the upper bomb side. Maybe EnVyUs is giving them way too much room to work with, and they're left scratching their heads. No idea what's happened here and how this situation has come afoot, but it has. 5 alive, bomb about to be planted, and 6 are left to play retake.
Well, this is a pretty crappy situation to be in for Sixer. Interesting note that EnVyUs kind of realised Heroic like to go lower. They smoke us enough to keep them back for the time being. But then they amuse themselves with control on the upper side and getting a plant down pretty comfortably. Heroic, there's a very good start for them. And yeah, we'll talk about this. You know, Yuki didn't get a kill in that round. He didn't die either, though, so he has a little bit of extra cash.
Please fight this round. Yuki? There we go.
I mean,
I don't know the theory behind it. I have no idea.
So if you win the pistol but don't get any kills and don't die, you can get an AK.
Yeah, I guess.
There you go.
You know what? Sure, why not?
Theory, craft.
But now let's see how they approach, knowing that EnVy are going to force up onto pistols. It looks like probably that line of smoke towards outside, but it may not mean the commitment's going to be there. This could all be but a clever ruse, a little bit of a way to keep them guessing. And it looks like it is right now. Snappy's going to be lining up the smoke towards upper. In it goes, drops down, goes towards the front of Squeaky, allows them to do a vent dive if they fancy it. So many options now open.
It means they don't have to open the door and risk getting, you know, beaten up as they try and make the way towards upper. So it is a bit messy. This CT-sided aggression for EnVyUs. No surprises here. Maybe the only team that surprised is Heroic, though. They weren't ready for it. And Snappy now on his own in a 1v3.
It's all good and well to theory craft all these pieces. You know, you can sit there and run it, these dry runs, and you can get it down in your head, but you just don't expect EnVyUs to come walking in towards Hut, and they did. And it works. It kind of completely threw out Heroic. You could see them all caught out here just trying to get ready for the piece that they had in mind. And now EnVy have a big advantage. You've got 2 players with rifles, or, you know, the UMP, call it what you want. It basically performs like a rifle. You've got some armor to supplement as well.
I believe Valde has named his UMP better than an M4.
Makes sense.
Yeah. We might see that later on. I mean, that's all well and good, but he's very, very low on HP. And it's a good chance that EnVyUs have got the bomb site well staked out. They can probably surmise by this point as well that the bomb is in Snappy's hands, as they would have seen if it had been in someone else's. Now, yeah, 6 is up to his left. He has a feeling for it. Happy as well is going to be very, very hard to pick out of the mix here.
Oh, nice connection towards 6, though. No armor. Oh, but can he make it away? Happy's going to try and encroach quickly as he can to avenge the fallen teammate. He does. Takes his time perfectly on that one. Doesn't get the gun off him, though. Bit of a shame there. But this is the piece that came through. The very aggressive push from XMS. And he got the follow-up. That was big. Yugi going down just kind of offset everything. They almost pulled it back, but then you saw the push coming out from, you know, Hut as well as ramp. So good little crunch from EnVyUs, and it turns it around. We know this map is very tough to get rounds on the T side, especially once the CT side gets that money behind them. Once they get those mollies that go down towards Squeaky, towards Hut, it just hinders you massively to get those early advantages and work back that real estate. Now, for Heroic, they've got a couple of pistols, still got a UMP on Snappy. It's not the end of the world, but it's not great. You could have maybe taken that further, got those first 3 in the bag, felt a little bit more comfortable about it, but they're back to basics.
Again, vents being knocked out, or skylights being knocked out above upper sight. May not amount to much here. And Valde managed to sneak all the way around towards Annex, but Happy was there and waiting, knowing that since there was a minimal EnVyUs presence outside, it was his job to watch that. And he also saw no smoke early on in the round, which is probably a safe bet given the Heroic don't have the money. But they do it better than VP nowadays, you know, sort of systematically, you know, throwing 4 smokes to outer to simulate or to imply a lower take, even if it doesn't come.
Flash could set it off. Scream's in a safe spot, though. By the old vent you could jump down that's now been taken out. Moddy. Maybe waiting on support to come towards ramp. He's not giving away too much here, and XMS is holding a bit more of a passive angle, further down towards ramp. Depends how he wants to play this. Once he gets contact, he seems to like to fall back.
It's very passive. Yeah.
Just gives up ramp control. It's kind of hard for them to split beyond this, even though they did very well in the first pistol, of course. Now it's a bit different. You've got guns up against you, but Molly still powers through. Now you've got 1 in vent, 1 in control room. Happy not shown his hand yet. Gonna wait for the bomb to get towards the side, and he makes the most of it, and he gets the frag towards Nico. Now Scream kicks in. It's all coming together at the right time here. Snappy does have the UMP, bit of armor, but he's playing against 4 here, who are already in great positions, and RPK will shut this one down. EnVy with 4 alive as well, importantly, keeping the money quite stable.
And again, Heroic are now forced to be a little bit humble here, just play around with what they have in this round. It's just not a lot. 1950, so it's not too dangerous money-wise. Means they just need to be patient for this round. Maybe go for some sort of upper rush, perhaps. Could try and work outside into Annex and wrap around if there's no AWP yet for EnVyUs. Looks like they're going all together here, so this probably shouldn't surprise anyone too much. The grenades could be pretty nasty. Happy also be quite nasty. The Molotov there tries to prevent the vent dive, but still 2 heroic players drop down. Quick plant. There's a good plant.
How did Molly get a knife towards Happy there? It doesn't really matter. It seems XMS has had his way with the entirety of heroic at this point, but
I think
Happy getting knives is an interesting
Modi was waiting in vent. So Happy drops down, Modi sits there. You can get it actually pretty easy backstab actually with the way the ladder works. I think depending on where you sit. I think if you sit under them actually, as they come down, you can hit them in the back. Because we actually see a few players do that, sit in the vent after they dive and hope that someone chases them in.
Yeah. Well, we get the buy from Heroic. This is what they're building up to. This is now going to be the big test coming through. Six has got the AWP on the other side. Now, I'm wondering if he actually takes this properly outside. He's been mostly playing from kind of up by Crows. No one's really been playing this garage area until this point. Now, Sixer shows presence, but going to back away from it. Now, actually, Heroic are quite quick on this, or at least Nico is. The smoke's down there to help him out. He can actually make the cross if he feels like it. 2 smokes put into play to allow him to get here. But again, it's only Nico making it so far. Now, the rest of Heroic is still over by the lobby area, so they've not really followed suit. Maybe this is a bit of a play coming through. We'll have to see how this one unfolds. XMS is working his way through. He wants the info, and he's so aggressive, and he's going to get it. It works out so well again. Snappy finds one, but it's merely not enough, and Nico's positioning is now almost irrelevant. Have to give it away going up the ladder. You've still got one up him towards the rafters. Scream does get outdone here. Now Nico worked out where Sixer is, but the support's come in from Happy. And the threat's been maintained. And again, Envy's aggression throughout this map is completely offsetting Heroic, who seem to like to take their times on these setups. They like to kind of, you know, mull over what they want to do, set everything up in the right place, and Envy just don't like it.
Yeah, it's not systemic aggression, though. It's not map-wide. It's very much a push out of ramp room in towards, you know, radio and lobby, while Heroic is still setting up. And if they do have an outside player or a player that's going to make his way in towards Squeaky, or multiple players, then we probably see them play quite passively inside lobby and wait for them to be in position for the lower side hit, so maybe they can actually head down to ramp room themselves. Heroic getting caught on the back foot yet again. So here it is. This is what they do. Smokes to outer, but no one there. Hoping maybe to receive some aggression from ramp room, expecting someone to come in. Still, another push like that from XMS could derail this Heroic train yet again. Well, they're all set up. So, upper hit. Going to be a fast play here. Tech9's in. Flashes that come out, and RPK's caught unawares. That's nice. Yuki gets 2 there very, very quickly with the CZ, and now it's Happy. Not the best angle for this at all, and Valda's actually able to use a salvaged M4 to pick up 2 kills. Very quick response. Decisive stuff here from Heroic. Scream has to bail them out, but unfortunately, again, he's got too many angles to watch and not enough bullets.
That was really nice from Heroic. Again, you can see that they put the work into these pieces, but that was very simple. Just a nice flash through that worked out so well. RPK, by the time he came out of the flash, there were 2 players trying to, you know, crunch towards the site, and it worked so nicely. Happy wasn't particularly safe, couldn't back away. They'd already recovered guns by that point. Very good. But again, you've got to see, can they contain this threat that's basically XMS? The aggression is working so nicely for him. I want to see if he maybe finds that. But a switch up for Sixer. Maybe looking towards ramp this time. Again, Nico doing his own sort of solo mission here. Molly's got to be careful. There was that Molly into play. Took a little bit of a lick of damage, but let's see how this one folds. So you've seen it before. They put down these 2 smokes that allow them to cross like this. Last time it was merely Nico here. This time there's a lot more. You got 4 here. Scream already in a good position, but actually misses the first shot there. Not often you get to say that, but he does make up for it. Still going to catch out Nico. It's going to be the 5v4, but Heroic do have a lot of numbers down towards the lower bomb site, and Happy being found is big. But Scream already in a nice little angle here, going to make them commit towards the site if they want it. But Valley finding RPK keeps chances alive.
Yeah, you can see those 2 working quite nicely in tandem, actually. Snappy was with Yugi earlier on. Heads into control room and gets picked up there. It's not the end of the world, because XMS now is also given a bit of information. Scream was found as he hit in the corner, which just doesn't seem to be a very robust position to take for a lot of players. And XMS could get rope-a-doped here. He's found Valdo. Now it's a 2v2. No bomb plant yet.
He heard the vent drop. That's more important. Brilliant awareness from XMS to take the time on it, 'cause he knew he had it. Now Molly's going to pick up the bomb, but he's not really aware where Sixer is, so it's kind of hard for him to work this out. But he's going to just kind of, I guess, take the best bet he can. Head up towards upper. Try and get a safe plant somewhere.
This is the safe play. There's no one from EnVyUs that's close by.
He's going to have time as well. He's going to have time to readjust from this. Six is not making much noise either. He's not too sure where Modi may be at this point. Maybe just wants to take his time on playing off the retake. It's actually very hard for them to play back into this. They're not going to have much time on it. So Modi, let's see how you do. Six is going to be playing up towards Heaven.
Both of them, actually.
Both of them up there now. And Modi watches a fair... Spots out, Sixer gets the tag, but already XMS has slipped through. That's the problem. But Modi aware of where he planted. The smoke is in, though, so he's not going to see it. And XMS, he's holding it down, and oh, Modi, brilliant play from him.
Sick.
Now he just needs to stay calm, play the time, play it smart. Six is on 2 HP, but he's going to hold it.
Oh,
Modi,
Modi.
no! Oh, he finally gets him. That was down to a couple of seconds there. Smartly done. You know, it was a risk from Six. You had to try something out. He had 2 HP. What else are you going to do? But finally it works for Heroic, but you can see the very small margins in this.
And that was last-second stuff, I'm pretty sure. The Sixer almost had it. Went for the stick. The smoke being there for so long, definitely benefiting him in a big way here. And you can see on the scoreboard, XMS 11 and 6. Now, a lot of those kills are actually coming from his aggressive plays out of ramp room. So that's, you know, one way we talk about Heroic being very, very good at setting up these ironclad lower hits. But if you hit them on other parts of the map when they're not ready for it, it seems to have been working out. Or maybe that's at least the thinking for Envy.
Now, I'm looking for the aggression this round if it actually comes through. Last time EnVyUs did that bit of a crunch. I don't know if they're going to try and do it again. You know, they are just down to the pistols. So, you know, if you're going to see something a little bit different, this is a perfectly good round to do it in. But at the moment, Heroic taking that out of control.
You can see Mollying Mini very mindful of players, playing it very close.
And Happy, look at this angle as well.
This is filth.
Yeah, this is very hard to handle if you're on the other side of things. Snappy completely unawares, but Happy actually missed him on this. So Happy can be called out. He is unfortunate. Timing just not on his side. The moment he looks away, Snappy moves up. Now Snappy has Heaven control. That's going to reshuffle the EnVyUs boys. They've got to be aware of it now. You can see them not sure of what ground's safe and what's not, but RPK is going to find one, and that is awkward as hell.
Oh, Snappy has to back away. Fire in the hole, literally, but not the way he would have liked it. Modi, though, finds Scream. Now we've got 2. XMS actually has an AK to work with, and again, makes his way towards Annex. Gets himself on the board in this round. And now Snappy knows he's going to get pressure a little bit here. Modi's off towards the side. That's a filthy angle as well. Nicely done from XMS. Through the grading.
XMS is such a little god at this map. He's such a quiet player normally in comparison to the others. But he's really coming alive here. Now, Modi again left in one of these situations. One player low playing back in this kind of 2v1 situation. And again, he's taken quite an open position now. First drops, gonna get the frag. He might spoil the other, shuts the door, really smartly done, but sprays in. Smoke is there, he's a bit worried, he doesn't know that XMS has got off it. XMS has been playing well, but only so many opportunities can go your way, and Modi again will lock this one out. Good stuff from him.
Yeah, I mean, his second consecutive clutch situation here, I believe, and I think his second consecutive 3-kill round, so very nice from Modi here, but we're not really seeing Heroic actually ease into the style that they kind of like to play.
No.
Very different to what we saw against Virtus Pro. And it's interesting because, again, you know, I have to call it Virtus Pro maybe just wasn't nearly as much of an opposition as EnVyUs has been thus far, but they're down to pistols.
Yeah, and they were last round, bearing in mind. You know, EnVyUs' money has been shaky at best, but 3 players towards ramp looks like it might be that aggressive play eventually. But let's see what RPK and XMS do, actually. That's the interesting one here. So they went towards ramp, they've gone lower, they're going up towards secret together. Now, Nico and Valley could be the targets. Oh, early Molly going to keep that one in check.
I did that last round as well.
Yeah,
Molly towards Mini.
Is
This is standard protocol, I guess, for Heroic if they're feeling like they're up against an anti-eco.
And I like it. I like teams who take this, you know, quite seriously, even though it's been very, very close. Why not remind yourself of it? And it is that pinch towards the outer side. Six has called them off, but they're aware that there's another player down there. And they're keeping this one in check for once. They're not letting it spiral too far just yet, but they're still happy. They're still Sixer. Make it just happy. Now, does have the deagle. He's got a keen little angle. Modi's got to be careful. Heads could be taken off, but it won't be. He's going to claim Happy's instead. So Heroic this time far more stable, a little bit more in control. You could see, as you highlighted, those protocols being just kind of run through as they work their way down.
And now we'll be heading into another buy for EnVyUs finally. They've had to wait it out pretty patiently. Let's give Sixer at least that AWP back in hand, who's had a really quiet game, actually, so far. We've seen some AWPers have a lot of success on this particular map. They can, you know, play from the rafters or up in heaven, but no one from Heroic's been pushing in across.
Pace. Look at this pace, Mitch. This is a quick hit. Look at it, Snappy straight through, but this could be a problem. Scream's already in position. Finding 2 big kills, denies the hit, and RPK is still there. The player towards the upper bomb site, who normally hints everything, but apparently it's easy as more. Oh, Yugi! That was so close! And XMS still finds him. That's such a shame. That was, oh, that looked on him almost, but still, the quickening of the pace just falls by the wayside, but that could have been something.
Almost blind gender reassignment there. That was nasty stuff. The AWP just Not finding the family jewels, so to speak, and Heroic give that one away. So that's another mix-up. Again, throwing something of a little bit of a different flavour and pace into the mix. Now, it doesn't work out for Heroic too well, but they're also getting a feel for EnVyUs in this map, who seem to be entirely competent at that. Scream was in position early, though. He definitely had his spot set up and ready to go, so Heroic weren't able to take anyone by surprise. I think now we see the smoked outer again here from Heroic. Yeah. So 4 of them laid out. So North Sixer or Happy can do a lot about this. Except just spam at irregular intervals through the smoke and hope to catch someone here. But Heroic, no movement in the squeaky this time. Now you can see they're ready for that ramp room aggression. So Yugi's not going to let XMS get in.
3 players eyeing it up now. This has been such a consistent issue for them. Now XMS has only done it a couple of times, but that's more than enough to keep your eyes now on it. Hit's still going to come through. RPK sitting anti-flash. 3 players now right in front of him. First gets sprayed down. The second might be vulnerable, but he doesn't manage to find him in time. Sixer still up in heaven, unpressured at this point. Comes alive. Nico goes down, and it's a 4v3. Envy keep control, and they retake the side. Well, Bomb's not even down. They're still going for the fights on this one. Maybe a little ahead of it. And Snappy's going to find 2 and keep this one alive, but the bomb...
That nade wrecked him.
Isn't going to go down, indeed. The nade just completely come out of that round.
Nicely done by EnVyUs there. A little bit dicey from Sixer up on high. But this is what Heroic can do. You don't know where they're going to go. They're going to hit you with an, a fast upper rush. I do like the positioning from RPK there. Didn't quite work out for him, but it's an early warning system. He got a kill, got also a fair bit of damage done, and allowed the rest of EnVyUs to play back into that site. You notice there was a Molotov on top of Hut there, so it was quite the set play from Heroic, even though they did wait and spend their utility just to simulate the outside hit.
Now, if you're looking at what this should be, which is 2 very good teams on this map overall, I'd say, obviously, Heroic has some favor in results. They've had some good ones on this one. This is what you... It's still a good T side. Having 5 rounds is manageable. Now, Envy, showing that they know how to keep the CT side in check. Happy being tested there. Got to be careful. Doesn't want to show too much, because obviously you can see it from those upper rafters. He plays in Scream well now. They've got this one under wraps. Oh, beautifully done from Happy. 4 kills, and they look so clean, so clinical. Just completely denying any sort of step there. So well done to Envy for not letting a single thing slip at that point. It was just the end of it, very, very crisp.
Yeah, and you can see quiet round.
Lovely.
Heroic don't really, if they wanted to play like a lower hit, they didn't actually have the smokes to allow them to get there. So they knew they'd have to face on some part of the map. They didn't fancy, running into the meat grinder and playing, a pistol rush on towards upper or try to challenge ramp room or anything like that. Although they might have had a better chance of success this time around. Happy just playing more of a passive angle. This round, though, is interesting. Happy's actually got himself in towards Secret early on, just in case. Sixer is actually not sitting passively over in heaven, but he's drifted across to warehouse early. So XMS again will be the gatekeeper.
He's so slippery as well, isn't he? Just normally backs away super early, but this time actually fought for a little bit of ground. And it didn't go too well for him, but it did play in Sixer quite nicely off the back of it. Valdi's going to be suffering.
Here it
and now
is.
Nico aware that they could be doing a push, but didn't expect the second. Again, gets found. Yugi and Snappy to try and pull this one back through, but a 2v3 going to be tricky when Happy's already down here in control room. Going to be able to keep tabs on if they actually commit to this, if they back away, kind of keep the others aware, try and keep some sort of idea as to where this T-side is trying to head toward.
That was a smoke for control room there, so Happy will have to spring through the window if he actually wants to get involved, or just have to wait. Although that gives a lot of information. Now EnVyUs know what's going on here, despite not being able to see anything. Frustrating for Happy. Interesting if Heroic check this. Now the smoke's gone. I think they get himself up into decon, actually. Yeah, Yugi will be sitting there. So, well played out by Heroic to get this bomb plant and actually be able to take defensive position. To see decon's been smoked out. Quick peek. Nice by Snappy, actually manages to win out against Sixer. Gives up his life for it, but with Yuki now, he's going to be forced to spring onto the bomb site. This is messy. Not the greatest contribution I've seen. And he still finds the kill, but he still had 2 players to mess with.
Yeah, I don't think I think he was a little bit worried that they're already on the bomb.
Could have come a little later almost in the round.
Yeah, I think he was just kind of that nervous push, the quick flash, and just get in there and hope that he catches him off guard. But it doesn't work out. Now again.
Look at the vintage pin on screen here. DreamHack 2013. I was still back in Australia there. That's a long time ago now.
Were you?
Yeah, I got here 2015. It's been 4 years, Lauren. 4 years.
Jesus.
Yeah. Indeed. Nice throwback there from the man. Yeah, I know. I feel it too. Regardless, again, smokes to outer. Much the order of the day for Heroic. Again, Happy's got himself in towards that secret connector area early in the round, and Heroic don't really want to test it anyway. So Happy's not going to be getting involved much in the early round. The hit's going to come pretty fast, I think, Lauren. Yep, they're springing straight towards the upper side now. The challenge on towards RPK. Both of them lost out. Valda and Modi unable to find entry frags, and their round is completely derailed.
Really nice crossfire on the upper side between Scream and RPK. Just holding it down, not even a step here. And look at this, Scream, just large and in charge, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, Modi had a clean one-on-one in that case up against RPK. Scream wasn't looking at him at the time, but I mean, this is why we talk about that upper side being really hard to hit without a lot of utility. We say it's very expensive for terrorists to actually do it safely. Like, you know, can you really access rafters with Molotovs? I think only really the top of Heart. It's very difficult.
Certainly is. Now, the thing is, Heroic have been pretty successful in taking over ramp. Being able to kind of funnel off the back of that, maybe not so much.
There's been rounds they don't go there, actually, that they lose out even harder because XMS eventually just gets tired of waiting and pushes into it.
Yeah, this time tried to molly out Sixer so he doesn't get the damage that he had before, but XMS will still find one on the way, but they're much quicker on this hit. Maybe trying to hinder those rotates that have been really, really catching him off, but this time no smoke towards control room, which plays in Happy so much better. Now they're going to try and get control down towards Decon, and they've lost out on that. Now it's just Nico, 1v3, UMP to hand, shots on the way out, caught in the heels, and well, duly noted position. Good luck, have fun, not going to get it. Scream is right there, and that is a good CT half from EnVyUs.
If I was Nico right there, I'd just pull the cloth out of the Molotov and take a drink. Not much to be done there. In Heroic, it's a quiet half. A team that we know to be a little bit more creative on their T-sided rounds. They run up against the wall that is EnVyUs. It's 10-5. We'll return. We're going to be back with the second half of this match. Heroic are going to move to the CT side. It's time for Envy to show us some of what they've got. Don't miss it. We'll see you soon. We're back to the Cedar Creek nuclear plant here for our second half of Heroic versus EnVyUs. Two teams actually sort of in middling positions on the ladder, and EnVyUs actually in dangerous territory. However, this performance has uplifted them and may well impact their positioning on the ladder as well. Positively, of course, Lauren. 5 rounds ahead of the half. It
really, really could. This is what's quite interesting to me, though, is seeing how two, in theory, even teams play this one out with, you know, the side bias of this map. If Heroic get going, if they get the money beside their side, or if Envy just kick right back into gear. They're already on 10 rounds, of course. So this could be a very tough game for Heroic if they don't get this pistol pretty much under their belt. Now, Modi's going walkouts early. That's a bit sloppy. You just encouraged Envy to go into the flood. Valdi's trying to stay... Oh, God, the knives are out, boys. Valdi, run! He can't make it away in time. Sixer a little bit too quick to catch up with him, and now 5v3. Heroic might have just thrown this one away already.
Huge opening from EnVyUs, no doubt about it. Snappy finds a loose player over towards Annex here, and EnVyUs have done the full round-the-world trip. They made the way into heaven, all of them now. Able to drop down onto water site at their leisure. In fact, the bomb is just lobbed down. XMS knows he can't go and pick it up yet, though. Nico was waiting for him. He saw the peak. And Nuke lurking. Now, the problem is here, we can't just wait for a player to challenge him out. RPK, he's on a ladder right now as well. You don't really want to be shooting while you're doing that. It's very inconsistent. Yeah, so you're just trying to play with him. But not much to be done here. He realizes that if he comes off, no chance. So backing away, has armor, so he might want to just try and preserve that going into the next round. His time for this one is, that'll be done.
Good luck, Yugi.
Jeez, he wants
Beautiful.
To go for it.
There it is. Scream first. Ooh, RPK. Now he's going to know where Sixer is as well because he had a little scuffle with him earlier.
Oh,
Still goes for it. Yeah, just got a little caught in. Bit of a shame. But yeah, I didn't... Lovely ragdoll effect. Didn't like the aggression towards ramp then.
From Envy?
No, I think it was Moddy walking in. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Obviously, it didn't work out well for him, but it was just kind of, it felt like it didn't have a point to it. He just kind of walked into 3 players, no flash to set him up, nothing to kind of lead the way. It was just purely like, oh, we're just going to walk into it. Maybe hope to do what XMS did, but yeah, it didn't work out too well.
I think XMS performed that particular play under very different circumstances as well. I think the timing was different. He also had an upgraded pistol in some cases when he went for it, even more than that with a UMP. Regardless. A poor attempt at emulating CT-sided aggression. Moddy again loses out, forced to back away. This time, though, with his life. Does he have time to smoke up any of these orifices? No, he doesn't even have a smoke. No point. EnVyUs very quickly on towards lower side here. Doing what Heroic do, only better. Naturally in a round where they have the better arsenal to work with. But Nico looking for an opportunity to get involved with the 5-7, and he does. He trades out Happy, gets a UMP. 2 very low health players here. But he's gotten himself a smoky UMP. RPK's hoping to take that away from him here, but Nico around the corner, too fast.
Yeah, slowly just gathering items through the map, picking up a nice little flash then.
It's like a loot run. It's like a dungeon.
Don't talk about loot, Mitch. You know, I'll get excited and think about Battlegrounds.
You're very chirpy when you play that game. It's great.
Honestly, it brings me so much joy. It's just because I know that I make other people miserable. That's literally why I enjoy that game so much, is just knowing that someone on the other side is fuming.
That's consistent.
Yeah.
Consistent if nothing else. Well, Scream's had a great game though, 21-8. I mean, we kind of passed us by a little bit. Usually we sort of identify as high flyers amongst the rounds that they're winning out, but he's just had consistent involvements. Often playing from the rafter on that CT side. Yep,
he played very nicely with RPK, kind of complementing each other very well. And the crossfires that were set up that we saw not too long ago. He put an AK in his hands, we know what he can do.
RPK did the classic COD 4 move of reconnecting at halftime, so we can't see the score. Respect that. Cheeky reconnect, one of my favorites. I did it many times. I had a bound.
I unbound tab, so I didn't see my own stats.
That's not bad.
I used to get very annoyed about it. It did not help you in any way, shape, or form. Anyway, into the game we go. This round, it's a very light investment from Heroic. Upgraded pistols, and they still have that UMP, of course, on Nico after he went on the Loot Goblin mission. And right now, that's a bit awkward, because someone's just gone up towards rafters, and Envy have the whole map, basically, at this point. No one's really slowing them down. Snappy's going to find one, but is swiftly removed. And Moddy, just going to run in with the USPS.
It's almost like Envy played really nicely off ramp room aggression here, because the player who's holding it from Heroic backs down, goes, all right, guys, they're coming lower, they're going to hit us here. And Envy did the same thing in the pistol round. Instead of going straight into ramp room, which would be too predictable, they go up towards heaven. And they have players that come in through via Annex or Hut, and then they have all this upper side control where Heroic have already dropped down vets going, well, we're going to get ready to hold lower.
Well, let's remember as well, Heroic did that to them on the first pistol round. So it's just like, well, guys, hey, we're doing it right back at you. So have fun. We had to deal with that. Now it's your turn. And obviously, you're looking at the scoreline. EnVyUs winning it out.
VP do it in a different way by going around outside and on rafters with usually Bialy and Snacks that play together there. So 2 different ways of trying to achieve the same thing. We can discuss their merits at a later date, but now EnVyUs, no smokes yet to out of them. Everyone's got a smoke, so no one's smoked anything. Now they're making the call, so about 40 seconds into the round. Okay, now this is a little bit different to what we see from Heroic. This is actually diagonal across, so even players, playing in from, Valda's position can't really see too much of what's going on. This allows RPK to maybe go in towards Annex if he wanted to and challenge out Snappy.
The big thing is that Snappy will get information that they're not here yet, so they haven't fully committed towards lower, down secret. So it's going to allow easier rotations. They've kept some map control. Sixer could be a problem because of that smoke. It's kind of let them up here, but Yugi playing off the back of it still finds 2. Nico helped him out. Oh! Love it. Love a bit of that with USPS. Just dances around XMS. Now, RPK all alone, going to be spotted out pretty easy, but he does at least take one down with him. But That time, it was just the information that Snappy was able to gather. Those smokes down on the outside just were pretty much foregone because he was able to see that no one actually went there, so no one had to over-rotate. They kept it in check because up to that point, we've seen that EnVy have been running rings around them.
Yeah, it makes me wonder what the smokes are for. I mean, why we see that kind of variation. I mean, this was an interesting smoke in itself, but you can see the players come up. I mean, ooh, geez, barely. Yugi must have had some sort of prescience about that to find it, but yeah, I mean, and those smokes allow EnVyUs to sort of pinch between Heaven and Annex and actually play on that upper side if they want to. Or they can go lower, they can just mix it up here. Someone got a tattoo of Doja on their foot, by the way.
Yeah, just a quick note. If any of you go on Twitter, check out Thorin's Twitter. Please tell me that that is not real. If someone can prove that that is photoshopped, I would probably regain some faith in humanity.
Yeah, reinstated.
We're going to focus on this round because I don't want to just start hating everyone.
Breaking news, of course, guys.
Of course. Well, look, if Dozia's picture has been tattooed on someone, it gets brought up. Anyway, Snappy again is still down here, so he's where this, in theory, should stop, but there's only 3 players from Heroic. So this could be a problem. RPK's just taking fights where he can find him, and he's going to win that out. Happy as well, going to crunch down towards lower. This is just brutality. Modi, sucks to be you right now. I wouldn't want to be in your shoes. You got Happy selling a bit of a kipper down here.
Trigger discipline. Modi boy.
Bugger. Oh, that's not gone as smoothly as he's want either. Now he's going to have to go right up into the bomb site. Position duly noted. And 3 players are watching him.
And there's only 1 vent to climb up these days. One of the many changes we saw to Nuke. So it just makes it that much more predictable for Modi if he wants to challenge. Now, Scream has dropped into the vents. Modi surely at this stage wants to hold on to his weapon. It's bizarre, isn't it? How strong we saw Heroic play against VP and now how EnVyUs are actually beating them at their own game pretty convincingly. 1 tap from Modi. Not too bad, ironically enough, to the progenitor of the 1 tap. Life, that was screen to fall. And Heroic walks away with just Modi, 2 kills to his name. Kept a lot of that utility on him because Ivaldi, oh dear, yeah, he's got to bite down nothing here. It's 1400. So he goes for some utility, goes for USP and says, do your worst.
Yeah, so far this has been very much the EnVy show, hasn't it? It's been from start to finish all theirs. XMS currently enjoying the Tech 9. No worries on that, especially when you're 14-6 up. You're sitting rather pretty. So, flash out for Yugi, going to play in the 2 players, or at least 1 here. Valdi tries to make it to T-Red, but gets found in the process. Happy makes light work of him. The flash merely just not doing its job. And Yugi's scout just doesn't seem all that intimidating now.
Yeah, it'll be pretty quiet for him. The smoke's starting to dissipate towards the outer part of the map, so opportunities here. Or the re-smokes come back in. So now EnVyUs make a later round play. Again, the timing's about 40 seconds into the round that they go towards outer. If they overwhelm Yuki here, he's got a snowball's chance in hell of getting himself out of this situation. But instead, EnVyUs all go towards lower. They lost a player in the process. Nico picked off Happy. And Snappy's now hoping to inflict some damage of his own. Flash in. He turns it nicely. Gets himself 2. Can there be more? No, but the damage already done, surely enough. 3v2. And there is Modi in position. Plants his legs. Takes the shot. That was an errant flash there from Sixer. It works. It allows him to get up close. He sees Modi drop 1 out, and this is quite clever.
Where's Yugi right now? Is he on ramp? Sixer? He's got 1 bullet. Doesn't land it. Goes back in. P250 could do the work. Yugi's a little better off. He's all right. Yugi always had ramp, so even if that side spiral, he should be fine. So, okay, Heroic gets some breathing room, but there is a timeout now.
Yeah, I feel like this is probably on behalf of EnVyUs here, whose money is questionable. Yeah. Not completely depleted, but I mean, Sixer has 5K, and then the rest of his team have, you know, between 3.6 and 2.7. So it's a little bit difficult to sort of know what the play is going to be in a round like this, and tactical pause is going to be taken regardless. A fast play ramp room, transition heaven, as per usual. That'll be interesting. Especially with Tech 9s in the lot.
We'll see how this goes. It does feel like so far EnVyUs have been pretty much setting every piece of the pace that's been coming out during this game. They've been kind of all-encompassing. It does feel as though that Heroic have read and has a way to kind of hinder that outer approach. and it's mostly not necessarily just Snappy, but it's good positioning from him down towards lower. But we're back underway, so maybe not for this round, as this is, you know, 1 smoke, 2 flashes, maybe a quick hit from Envy, but I wouldn't put it past him to make it count. Maybe a bit of a quick play through towards vent diving, or we'll see how it goes for them. Snappy going to be forced to go on the reload and plays in off of Nico now. Nade going to come out, but a little bit too late. But at the moment, only RPK's been able to find a frag here, and that's on towards Yugi. Bomb's left in a bit of a precarious position. RPK again. Snappy goes down. He's making it costly.
It's probably about all he's going to be able to get done. This spot is being watched from rafters here. Yeah, Nico just had that bomb lined up the whole round. He knew it would be there. So it was a fast play of some sort. Doesn't really work out for EnVyUs. They can probably accept that now in this round. Again, there's no plant in that round, so you still see the slight investment they made in the previous round actually still holds them back a little bit in this one. It might have to be a double save of some description.
Can't blame them. You're 8-14. There's no need to rush things. There's no need to hurry. As Phil Collins once said, you can't hurry, love. So, on to the Deagles we go. A little bit of armor on RPK, XMS, and Happy. So at least they've got a little bit of sustain here. If they get some guns away, could be quite nice. Modi! Be a little careful.
Yeah, he is trying to emulate XMS, you know.
Yeah, he is. He's trying to get a little aggressive here, and they're doing it again. Look at Valdi straight away, and Happy is just up to the right. This could be problematic. Valdi is completely unaware as to where Happy is, and he's completely at his mercy. And now XMS finds Nico. There's trouble afoot here. We're in a 2v3. Sure, it should be kept under wraps, but there is still danger, and there's still money to be made here for EnVyUs.
Yugi. Timing pretty good for him there. A split second, and XMS would have seen him and at least had a chance to inflict some damage. Happy now as well, surveying the battlefield. We haven't seen an aggressive out of play like that all match, actually. It was quite a nice little variation from Valda to get himself 2 kills. But again, it's done in an anti-eco round, so a little bit hard to assess on its merits. And Happy's got a decent amount of time to work with, 45 seconds in the round, and he has the bomb to hand. So Yugi will be playing rafters. Snappy will be outside watching the inside of Annex. So that puts a lot of pressure on Happy now. Also gives the information to Yugi. He'll be watching the spot. Happy would like to get into hard, I think, even at this stage and try and mix it up, but he doesn't know where Snappy is. You can see he's dropped down into secret. Might even go vent here as well to pinch. Receive Happy if he tries to drop down. So this is Heroic really covering all the bases.
And Happy leaving it as late as possible, it feels.
He's not seen Yugi, I feel.
No, so that could be an angle he's going to be surprised from, or maybe not consider. Fakes out the bomb, draws out Yugi, but now time, 7 seconds, and it's the closer. Whether it be Modi, whether it not be, it doesn't seem to matter. Another pause comes in. Technical this time, apparently.
Well, looking in game, no one's having lag issues that I can see, so I'm not really sure what that kind of pause will be.
Did FaZe just beat NIP 16-1 on Inferno?
Yeah, it's funny. The first map was actually a fair bit close. It was 16-13.
Oh, 16-1.
Okay.
Nico dropping 26 kills.
Well, it's probably not a surprising result overall, but the scoreline's a little bit concerning for NIP.
Well, this would be fun.
FaZe have had a couple good days. No doubt about it.
FaZe are feeling it. Let's remember as well, if I'm not mistaken, we're going to have the NIP game in just a moment's time coming up after this against North. Yeah,
and like I said, I think if North win both of those games, they automatically qualify.
Yeah.
No matter what. So seeding is obviously what's more concerning. And the reason why we're so cagey about our predictions still is because we've still got 1 more week of Pro League to be played. And I think amongst that, there are some extra matches that will need to be made up. So we might even see extra matches played off stream. For teams like EnVyUs, for example, I think, who haven't got the whole cadre of matches played yet. But we'll get to that when we get to it. Right now, we've got a few more rounds in this one still. That technical pause was called, and Sixum actually goes early squeaky with the AWP, but it's forced back by the molly.
Yeah, he took a little bit of damage, just hoping that someone would walk across in time. XMS is going to take some damage too. Modi.
Easy, Modi.
He's a scary player to play, to watch, you know what I mean? There's something about it. He always seems to be on a knife's edge on this, but this time around a bit of a difference as well. Valdi has made it towards T-Red, so last time he got caught by Happy. This gives him a bit of control. That means that it can kind of alleviate everyone else.
I really enjoy watching more aggressive outside players on the CT side. Not everyone does this. I think Snacks does it, or one of the VP guys. Shox does it. Shox plays really nice. T-Red play on this map. Really gets in people's faces. Instead of the center just sitting, secret stairs and peek up when they're coming. Yeah, exactly. It's a nice variation. Now, Modi gets a little bit of early damage done, actually a reasonable amount. He backs away. EnVyUs have to decide. They're definitely not going heaven because they smoked out the other side. Very direct hit for them here. Now, Happy finds Valdo early on, so Modi really needs to make a big involvement in this round, but he's smoked out of observatory or control room and then mollied out from the door. So limited options for him.
Well, Envy have complete side control. They put so much in and then leave Decon unwatched while being planted. That's a little surprising. Snappy was able to find Scream, but RPK answers back, so it's back down to a decent situation here. But Envy are so low, so the nades come in, any sort of damage comes through, and it's on to Sixer now. He does have the AWP, so there's a possibility that he can make something work here, but Nico kept unawares of it. That's 3 alive. That's a defuse coming in. EnVyUs, you know, they did well to get the bomb down, to get that full side control, but they put so much towards it, took so much damage en route, it was always going to be tough for them to hold on to.
Yeah, messy stuff. And I mean, you can see that they give away their intent quite quickly to Heroic. Heroic, to a point, can't just assume that if EnVyUs have ramp room control, they're going to go lower because of how much they've been working over towards Heaven. They've been, you know, pushing outside in ladder, but then the smoke thrown by EnVyUs over towards the connected to that ladder room to Heaven goes, okay, well, they're not going to push through this, obviously. So we know it is set up on the site, and that was good from Muddy there as well to play that patiently. It was also a nice little Kobe nade chucked in on the bomb site to secure a kill.
Now, Envy do have armor to support these upgraded pistols, so gotta be careful. This map does occasionally lend to people being able to do some crazy things, so Ramp might just get a little bit of tension here. And Modi, let's see if he's gonna back away as readily this time. Oh, he's holding a bit of an out there angle. This could be dangerous. 4 players facing it. It's overdone. Scream gonna just push on through. The Deagle will eventually land, and now there are threats everywhere. Valdi getting tagged up to about 50 as well. This is problematic. You've got a rifle in XMS's hands and the bomb to be planted soon.
That kept Valdi in position for quite a while, actually. He's still playing outside the plant itself. Can't really help too much at the moment. Door shut in the face of Snappy. He's got to press forward, though. Does get aggressive and finds Scream, but he's down to 2 players on the side of Heroic. What a great opening round for an EnVyUs, and really punctuated by the very unfortunate spray we saw from him. He was forced into a spray. He was caught a little bit too close and just had to try and drag down into the left and hope for the best. Didn't work out. No. Valdo. And what I love about this is from Happy pumping a couple Tech-9 shots into him on the outer side, just sort of keeps him, you know, on his toes inside that warehouse going, oh, can I rotate? Can I help my team? I can't go secret now because I'm half health, and he's watching me. He had to go the long way, and he couldn't even get there in the end. Yeah,
and XMS getting that rifle, you just seen what he's done. He kept that round from falling back into Heroic's hands. He was so impactful during this. So yeah, okay, Scream's been a highlight. But XMS, a man who you don't often say in a lineup like this, he's been having the game that I want to keep my eyes on. If you see more of that coming through from him, if you see consistency, being able to find ways to be incredibly relevant to the way the rounds pan out, this is a player to keep your eyes towards. So nicely played out so far towards him, especially on this map. Don't often get to see it. He's been a good role player. Yeah, he really has been. He suits what he's doing at the moment. Now, Scream with the AWP. It's not something you often see, but he had the spawn. He gave it a go. Switching it over. Sixer, take that one back. I like my one taps better.
And there's a whole range of options for them here. They can pull out, they can go long. Valda would be there though to catch them on the outside. They go ramp room, they go hut. Even squeaky, although it's quite risky at this stage. There's a huge amount of options available to them here. It's a matter of trying to get a little bit of information. But whichever path you take against Heroic with the way they're set up here, you're going to face fairly stiff resistance. So Yugi and Modi are both watching ramp room in this round. So Modi doesn't have to do it on his own. It means he might stand his ground. You see he's playing from a different spot here. So Yugi's going to be there for the off-angle peak as well. He's not playing on upper at the moment. This could be really dangerous for EnVyUs if they go in for this. Oh, XMS takes a lot of damage early. Yugi goes for the peak there. It's traded though. Yugi goes down. He hangs around too long for RPK. And now Modi now has to stand his ground. Only 1 kill though. 1-for-1 trades across the board for EnVyUs. They get some map control. That's worthwhile in their eyes.
But they've hit the brakes. Envy haven't pushed any further.
Is it a change of tact or direction, perhaps? Because you can do a lot with this. You could go straight to the lower side. You could go up around.
Yeah, it becomes incredibly hard for Heroic to try and play this safely in any way, shape, or form.
They're trying to screw with Heroic.
Yeah, you switch up the pace, you keep them guessing, you get them into awkward positions. A couple of smokes still left over. That's a bit of a mistake, though. That gives so much opportunity for Nico. Bomb goes down. Now Envy has to play back into this. Happy, gonna give away a little bit here. Runs in towards the vents, and Snappy's waiting 10 seconds. You got no time here, Sixer. Keep hold of the AWP and look at the next round.
Oh, that smoke was sloppy. Really sloppy.
Yeah.
In towards Annex. You could have achieved a lot more of that if you were in. Because there's no one else watching upper side. I'm pretty sure the last player, yeah, Nico was out playing ramp room at the time. So if you smoke Annex properly, you walk in and plant the bomb. No dramas. Then you maybe check, you know, Heaven. Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of a Bit of an awkward one there, but the money's still pretty low for Heroic. So it's going to be a tough buy, but they can scrape it together. You can see they've been able to get full rifles and everyone's got the utility, but they're down to those last couple of dollars. But obviously a little bit worse for EnVyUs. Sixer still has the AWP, so there's still a possibility, but you're going to have to depend on the others to come through as well. They're not getting those opening picks that are like you saw Scream going for it last time just because he probably had the better spawn. But at the moment, no aggression towards the outer side this time as well from Heroic. Valde playing a little bit different this time. Snappy as well, keeping eyes on.
This is a very well-behaved save, actually, from EnVyUs. Around where, after buying, XMS and Sixer still have about 4.5k. So they're, again, another round where they're taking a back seat and just playing for the long game. Oh, God, that's frightening. Nico crouched down around the outside with Sixer trying to get a couple of shots in. That could have gone either way. This is a new face for Modi playing ramp room. He actually gets a clean kill there. So he has mixed up his approach quite a lot between ramp and radio.
Oh, 6. There it is. Modi gives them the opportunity. Now it's game on. We're in a 4v4. They again have that ramp control. Scream's going to try and slow him down, but he had the bomb. No, that's terrible. Valde now in a bit of a predicament because of that. Happy coming right around. That was he just didn't expect someone to be coming from a radio at that point. That's a little bit baffling. Now RPK's gone up towards Heaven, and they have spread out the player. Nico's position's noted, so he's going to back away, give it up a little bit. But it's Sixer and Happy left alive in a 2v2. Now Nico still alive doing damage. It's all on Sixer in the 1v2 now. Smoke to the right, flash to the left, tries to get a different position, but he's got Nico to handle. He doesn't expect him to still be there. And Nico just waited it out well, and the defuse will come through. Game's still on.
EnVyUs save money in that round, keep 4k on 2 of their players. They plant a bomb as well. So all is not lost. It's looking close on the scoreboard, but that was a round that EnVyUs were more than happy to sit out of and just, you know, save a little bit of money, try and make some of their own, and then come back with a full buy with everything. However, the margin of rounds that they can give away in that fashion is rapidly declining. Heroic are very, very close to taking this to overtime. It's match point. It's been match point. Heroic have to force every single round. They have done so up until this point quite well. It was a 3v2 for EnVyUs, and Nico completely dismantled it. I kind of like that he faked Squeaky there. He opened it up. Could quite easily have gone away. Comes back for the peek towards Rafters. He read that small passage of play very astutely. And now the French and Belgian mix. Need to come up with a way to put this one to bed. Otherwise, the Danes are going to drag it out.
Oh, yeah. You give Heroic a chance, they'll definitely run for it. But it does feel that EnVy have been teetering on an edge here. And even in the lesser bought-up rounds, they've been definitely making it competitive. It's just been closing it down. You saw then it coming down to a 1v2, considering Sixer was really the only one to have a quote-unquote proper weapon. He was the only one with an AWP, of course. And any other sort of rifle sitting on the EnVy side that wasn't recovered. So at the moment, EnVy, decent buy coming into this, but there won't be many of those left over if they don't start putting their foot down here. Got to feel that the close is on the horizon, but Heroic have built back well. XMS.
Yeah, just in case, Modi.
No, Modi, don't do what I do. Get away.
It's kind of interesting to see 2 players that actually play that similar position try and respond to each other preemptively.
That's a nice.
That's nerdy. I like it. We actually saw that a previous round when Yugi was actually playing up in heaven, but it didn't cover the orifice properly. Scream drops in just like Batman. Nicely done. He's got the tech to match, and now they're going to press in towards his upper sight. Nico never stood a chance. We just switched to him as he died, and look at this. Control aplenty for EnVyUs now, this upper side. Valda's got to come back in. He's got Nico obviously already dead to right, so might have to do this one on his own. Yugi trying to play from upper, but the bomb's planted. The retake's going to be so difficult here. That's an interesting challenge from Sixer. I have to question that. And Yugi was ready to receive. And Valda, why are EnVyUs running out here?
What is going on? It's still a 3v3. Thankfully, XMS is on point, and it will be shut down in the end by Scream. That simple, clean hit towards the upper side. Started to get a little bit messy then, with players being called out left and right, but it was shut out in the end by EnVyUs. This was a very good showing for them. I want to highlight again, XMS to me was incredibly impressive. Scream certainly had a good game, but you expect Scream to have good games. For me, XMS stood out from the rest.
Stepping into that role, I mean, we remember the old Envy where Devil actually came into the team and had to play a similar role, play that role player and, you know, give that later round support, but XMS definitely improved in a big way and playing his own. You know, he's been given enough rope to sort of play around ramp room and lobby and get aggressive, especially on that CT side. It worked wonders for multiple rounds, even with a 5-7. But that's done. EnVyUs take it 2-0 there. A sign kind of big improvements and adaptations from this team. Let's head over the desk now and get their take on the series that was.
Yeah, huge wins for Envy, and not only, I mean, 2-0, pretty good score margin, 16-12 on Nuke, but also, I mean, we mentioned they're one of the teams that's fighting to avoid relegation, so that's going to go a big way. Really, really hurts Heroic's outside chance, admittedly, of getting top 6 and making it into the playoffs.
Yeah, they needed like the 4-0 there, didn't they, to actually stand a chance. But yes, going forward, that was actually pretty promising from EnVyUs, I have to say. They find themselves at 8th place now as well. It was a bit of a rough ride to close it out there, but they look like they're the more dominant team throughout that.
They haven't played that many games, right? If they just played 2 added on there, they've still got 6 games to go. So there's still a chance there.
Sleeper team?
Yeah, I think Heroic might be kicking themselves, right? Because they look like they made a lot of adjustments in their first half for things that they knew that EnVyUs did, right? You saw Voldy when they did the wall smoke outside Molly, that spot that we know that Happy likes to sit in at secret, just behind that wall. There's a lot of adjustments they made early where they were playing top execute strats, right? They were throwing the wall smokes outside and then going to top to try and fake out Envy, and I think that came back to bite them because when they went to their bread and butter, which was taking that lower bomb site, they had a lot more success. Envy tried to rotate Happy down there to help Scream, and they were still winning those rounds. So I think they're going to be a bit upset with that loss.
You mean maybe they adjusted away from what was working?
Yeah. They tried to maybe be too smart about it. They should have been brute force.
I'm going to say, I thought 10-5 was flattering towards Heroic. The fact they even got 5 rounds. They won the pistol, lost the second round force fight as usual against EnVyUs. Severe seems to be the case so far. But then the 5 rounds are gone total. 2 of those were off back-to-back victories from Modi, 1 on 2 from him. They still managed to pick up 5 rounds in total. They didn't look like they really had the usual tactical gameplay they usually bring to the table. I think they may be overthinking this situation.
That's what I was saying, right? They were going away from what has worked for them in the past.
I completely agree, Jason.
Yeah, they didn't look. I mean, some of the players we highlighted to start these 2 maps out, you know, Voldy, Yugi and everything like that. Snappy's top on the scoreboard here at Nuke. That just seems like that's not the formula that needs to happen if this team is going to be successful.
Just seems like a bit of an off night for them. You know, well, this is the thing, right? It's a mixed bag with these teams in the middle or the lower end of the field because, sure, we've seen they can upset VP. They can upset the G2s of the world, that kind of stuff. But when it comes up against each other, it just seems to be, it's weird, right? You never know which one's going to come out on top.
Just to note XMS as well, player we don't really discuss into too much depth on the desk. He was actually very good, especially on the T side as well. He's almost carrying them at some points. His entry fragging and like snapshots he was getting as well was influential to them getting so many rounds in that first half. It was actually very impressive to watch him. So, yeah.
Yeah, the new guns from the French scene is the one
actually cool to watch.
Scene. Pretty good stuff. And obviously, like we said, Envy is going to be extremely happy with that one. That being said, when we return, we're going to have our second match of the evening, so stay tuned.